cities and gardens, but they were still essentially a nomadic kind. This kind of nomadic feeling always remained with the Persians, despite the fact that they built these vast imperial cities. They were as at home in a city as they were in a tent.
Hi, Pat.
The Persian
All done?
nomadic lifestyle was a cause for mockery. Like modern nomads, the ancient Persians spent the winter months spending their time in the plains, and the hot summer months in the cool of the mountains. The Greek is the same as the summer heat, resulting in Persian farming. The Greeks like to criticize the Persians for this style. They see
There
them
you go.
as
Good
hot
idea.
and moist creatures. And the other thing that Greeks see as hot and moist are women, particularly the way that bodies works. If women are hot and moist, and therefore Persians are hot and moist, they must be one and the same thing, basically. Persians are not real men because they can't stand the heat. What the Greeks never understood was that travelling was part of the Persian way of life. Even around great centres such as Persepolis, there would have been a city of tents as people came and went. And certainly within these tents, we can imagine that ancient Persian life would not be too dissimilar from the kind of images that we can still see today. So within these tents, what you have is, of course, your whole lifestyle. Everything goes on there from cooking, of course. Then there's the rearing of animals and the collecting of foodstuffs as well. And also weaving carpets, rugs, and hangings, the very essence of the tent itself, but also weaving clothing. This is a traditional women's wear, of course. This is all part of nomadic tradition today, and certainly can be reflected back onto ancient Persian tradition. Across the ages,
You're so funny, boy.
textiles have been central to Persian culture. From the most remote nomadic people of ancient Persia to the shoppers and traders in a modern Iranian bazaar, textiles are a way to express status and wealth. I've brought you to a place like the bazaar in Shiraz, just because there is this long legacy of an artistic tradition, a cultural tradition.
Good morning, Zaid. How are you? I hope I'm saying your name right.
They loved colour and textiles.
Really, I need glasses.
And also wonderful greens as well. So you know that these are the colours that they would have had and the colours they would have loved.
Seven Fred. Hi, good morning. Zaid says your dog is cute. Well, thank you.
Completely coloured in textiles is very much part of the ancient Near Eastern tradition, and certainly something that the Persians would have identified with. Textile hangings on the walls are very much part of the ancient world culture. Textiles all over the floors, textiles on couches as well. So you are surrounded, you're swamped by this idea of colour and luxury, and of course warmth as well. That's the real McCoy. Okay, synthetic modern velvet, but perhaps this gives you, better than anything else, the sort of idea of the luxury that the Persians were renowned for. It's purple, which first of all, of course, is the colour of kingship throughout the ancient world, because purple is so difficult to get in antiquity. A good, solid, deep, imperial purple dye. This is a modern textile, but does the job very well. I think it kind of captures what the Persians are all about for me. Bit of sparkle. The smells, sounds, and sights of this bazaar would be familiar to the ancient Persians. Spices, gold, and reeds of fine, brightly coloured cloth. This modern market reflects what
Zaid, I'm getting ready to go to work.
Their pursuit of luxury. The purpose of luxury at Persepolis.
What are you doing? Hi, Kevin. Good morning.
Because, of course, to have superfluous articles.
Marletta, hello. Toy pups. Puppy mommy. Puppy Mommy has entered the building, y'all. If you don't love our Toy Pups 4, you should get to know her. She has a ton of fun. She has amazing puppies. Jack has something nasty in his head. What you got in your head, honey? Probably slobber, huh? You like to fling that slobber.
Persians take on the aesthetic side of life, on the finer points of living. Everything from
Say it says, I am watching. I don't know what that is.
how you decorate your walls clearly had
Nimona.
on later world civilization, certainly through Greece.
Are you done, Jack? Oh my goodness, he does this to me. He's camera shy. I think he just has an itch. It's all very well planned out. Come on, Jackie. You know what you're doing. It's a Netflix movie. Okay. There's still peanut butter on that, buddy. Jack gives the best looks.
Interested or fascinated by this concept of luxury, that obviously feasting is going to be an element of the luxurious lifestyle. Persian feasts are going to be opulent, all the kind of things which are always associated with luxury. Drinking was an essential part of the Persian feast. Herodotus wrote, "The Persians are very fond of wine, and no one is allowed to vomit or urinate in the presence of another person." The Persians
Zaid says, I subscribed and liked the stream. Thank you so much, friend. Do you have a channel? Yes. Let me be your 12th subscriber, Zaid. Yay. I like the number 12.
Your understanding that you are source energy expressing through these.
Is that what you think, Jack? That's what Jack thinks about Mondays.
Understanding that you are eternal beings, so much more than this.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
What a glorious experience it is when you allow your physical human personality to be vibrationally attuned to your source energy. It just does not get any better than that. And of course, you really can't stop that from happening. That just happens. In other words,
So, Zaid, what time is it where you're at?
if that were not happening,
I'm wondering if you're up late watching a movie
we're beginning to
or if you're up
understand
early watching a movie.
science of deliberate creation. More recently, art of allowing, that you can control the degree to which you allow who you really are to flow. In fact, that's what allowing means. Allowing means how much of who I really am I allowing by my choice of thought to be present in this moment. When you're angry, there's usually some ability. That's why you feel angry. Really?
Zaid says, I have a dog too. What kind of dog do you have?
You feel as You feel understanding. You feel like giving
Ah,
others
golden retriever. How lovely.
when you're edgy.
You know, the reason I got Jack, one of the reasons, was I had a friend who had this dog, and the dog's name was Big Red, or just Red.
These feelings are
And
indications.
it was a golden retriever, but it was a really, really red golden retriever. Boy, I love that dog. Oh, so I was just determined I was going to have a red dog, and I looked for red golden retrievers. They're a little bit harder to find.
Outside circumstances have happened in this way. We would like you to stop for a moment and say, oh, wait a minute. I feel bad for only one reason and one reason only. I feel bad because I'm not allowing who I really am to flow. And this is what it feels
Oh my gosh, I'm going to try this name.
We say, somebody should do something about that. And guess what? There's only one person.
I really am going to try it as soon as I can see it better.
The game goes like this.
Dubraca?
Physical human form.
Good morning. Hello.
Complete, ultimate, only responsibility.
Zaid says she's 7 months old. Oh, how perfect. What a fun age with puppies.
Take a little getting used to.
Puppies and babies.
Blame somebody else for where I am, for how I'm feeling, for that.
Maybe I just like the number 7.
Can you imagine if everyone would say, it's my job, my life is my job. So you don't blame your mate anymore, you don't blame your kids, you don't blame your parents, you don't blame your teacher, you don't blame circumstances. You say, I take full responsibility. The reason that this is ultimately so satisfying is because you have only ever, always, only ever, always, only ever, always been the only ever, always one who could only ever, always do anything about anything in your life experience. Nobody else can do anything. In other words, asking someone else to change.
Zaid, Jack is 4 years old. It's right around his birthday right now, huh?
So that you will feel that you are the only one ever that could do anything about it. And so when you stop and think about it and you think, let's talk about the uprising, the seemingly eternal uprising in the Middle East. Everyone thinking that somebody else should do something different.
Kevin is sending hugs to Jack, who's pretty passed out. He had a big bowl of food earlier, and he just had some peanut butter, so his belly's full. He's like his mom. We eat till we pass out.
You're so angry at your mate, or your mother, or someone you work with, someone you work for, and they just seem to be ruining your life because they will not change their behavior. You do not seem to be important enough to them to change their behavior, which hurts your feelings a great deal. And then you discover, wait a minute, they don't have to change a thing in order for me to feel better. I can start looking for positive aspects. I can look for things within them that make me feel good. Oh, that's impossible to say. There is so much that is bad and not much that is good. In fact, I haven't seen a glimmer of anything good for so very long. And we say, are there other subjects to which you could give your attention? Well, maybe. You say you're like me. My dog.
Zaid says, look at this. That is beautiful. How do you do that?
And we say, do whatever it takes to find something to be your object of attention. And as you give your attention to something that allows you to feel good, you've done something about this relationship.
I want a pretty text.
In fact,
good morning, Lee. How are you?
Every relationship that you have will be one that pleases you.
And Magnetic North Adventure says, hi, Zaid.
Others as being responsible for you feeling good for so long, that it's sort of hard to let loose of that. It's sort of hard to let them be whatever they need to be. While you
yes, the dog is sleeping.
And we know
Kevin.
it would be a lot easier for you to do this if
Moose- Magnetic North Adventure says, I'm well. How are you?
But you can't
I'm
wait
good.
for them to figure this out. And
I
you
think I
don't
have a
want to,
job
because
this next
once you
couple
figure
days
it out,
off.
your life is going to feel so much better. It does not matter
How did you wake
how
up,
many
Lee?
aspects of whatever it
Zaid
is
says
you're doing
it's a
that takes
secret.
place
I was
in
asking
your
Zaid
life.
how he
It
got that
doesn't
pretty
matter how many
text.
negative aspects there are. It is our absolute knowing that in there
Magnetic
somewhere
North says to hi to all in chat.
now, it might be that the way your relationship has been evolving, that
So
you
Lee,
have begun to focus upon the aspects
should I tear down the ivy?
activated that part of your vibration to an art. So that when you come together with this person or these people, that what they mostly
Magnetic
show you
North
is
says
that
very
part that is
fine.
most
I couldn't
active in
sleep
your
well
vibration. Did
due
you
to
hear
your
that?
meetup today.
What they mostly show you is the part that is most active in your vibration. It's such a wonderful thing. Did you hear that? What they keep showing you is the part of them that is most active in your vibration. And all this time you thought it was their doing. It is the part that is most active in your vibration. That's why when we say to you, somebody should do something about it. The person that we're always talking about is you.
Do you
not them, you. Because
Magnetic North Adventures? You couldn't sleep well due to your meetup today?
But you're sort of fickle in what you want from moment to moment. And they're outside of your emotional guidance system. They've got to find ways of pleasing you based upon the letters that you've written or the prenuptial.
So, were you worried? Were you excited?
Or the arguments that you've had where you've come to.
What kind of thoughts are keeping you up?
In other words, it's so awkward when you try to control the way you feel by controlling their behavior.
Zaid says, do you play Geometry Dash? I do not. I don't play any games on videos. I have a really, really old PlayStation and some games, but I don't really play it too much anymore.
You don't know much about them until you have that dinner where you say, tell me about yourself.
Muhammad, hi. Muhammad says, good morning, my friend Cat&Jack. How are you? I hope you be fine. I am fine. It's my Friday. I don't think I need any more reason. That's a good one right there. I mean, there are other reasons, of course. So good to see you, Muhammad. Oh, Lisa's, yes, always nervous meeting new people, especially YouTubers. Think about how I feel. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone, Lee, in that. Uh-oh, Zayn, I think you went too small. It's so fun, the game, Geometry Dash. It's so fun. Kevin's waving. Lucy, I miss your beautiful face. How are you, my friend? Jack. Boy. That's what I say because you keep moving. Yeah, Lee says, Lucy, I hope you're well. Oh, Lucy says, I'm doing great. How are you, Kat? Really, really good.
As you look at a relationship that has been happening for a while, and you deliberately look for things that make you feel good, and you practice.
Zaid says, all of my videos are of Geometry Dash. Okay. Well, since I just subscribed to you, Zaid, when I get home tonight, I will take a look at your videos and I'll comment if I can. And then I'll get to know Geometry Dash, the video game Geometry Dash.
And the same child with another person behave entirely differently. And you say, I cannot even believe it.
Lee says, I saw Jack move, so good morning, Jack.
Different people have activated
And he's back out.
In other words, you are multifaceted beings. Someone said to us recently, after talking through tears about some unpleasant things that were happening. I think this happened when I was in the 2nd grade. And now this is an adult, children of her own. I believe that this happened to me when I was in the 2nd grade. And we say, we think so too. We think that things happen along your physical trail. And some of them stand out really big in your life experience. Some of them are so bold and so big, or they get your attention in some dynamic way for a period of time, and they cause you to learn. Sometimes over a gradual, long, hammering, steadily time, and sometimes in a very short, very fast, very flamboyant, very dramatic time. In other words, if when you're 4, the train runs over your toe, you will always have a different relationship with trains than most people that you know. When things happen like that, it causes you to begin to offer a vibration.
Muhammad says today is the second holiday for him.
Without knowing it, you practice those vibrations. You talk
Nice.
about them,
Is it
you
just
talk
the
about
one
them
day
every
holiday?
You think about them, you dream about them, you write letters about them, now you're writing electronic mail letters about them. In other words, you find yourself communicating about what your lives have been or about what your lives be. And so you keep alive a vibration within you that is the point of attraction. You remember that, don't you?
Muhammad says, I am so happy and excited.
Everything is about law.
Well, then I'm happy and excited for you too.
There is no exclusion. So whatever it is you're offering vibrationally, that represents your life experience. So
When do you get to see your wife, Muhammad? And your kids?
And that relationship causes, for whatever reason, a vibration to be activated within you. Maybe you begin to feel vulnerable. Maybe somebody picks on you on a pretty regular basis, and you develop some patterns of vulnerability or defensiveness. And then you practice them and practice them and practice them so much so that almost everybody that shows up in your experience treats you in similar ways. Until
Lee from Magnetic North Adventures says, Muhammad, I hope you're having a great and wonderful holiday. Yes, me too.
And then in psychotherapy, it is determined, well, that happened in 2nd grade. And we say, a lot of things happened in 2nd grade and 3rd grade and 4th grade. A lot of things happened. A lot of things happened yesterday. Some things will happen today. But now you are in the place that you understand about vibration. Now
Zaid says,
you understand that your emotions tell
Kat, I like your videos. Thank you, Zaid.
how much of who you really are, you are allowed.
So kind of you.
So when you get this straight in your mind, that when you are allowing who you really are, you feel eager, you feel sure.
Lee Sung Soon TV, good morning.
You feel healthy, you feel vital in your life, you feel well.
Lee Sung Soon TV says, hello everyone, nice to meet you.
And anything less than
So good to see you, Lee Sung Soon.
then it's pretty easy for you
Number
to
5,
begin
like,
to
thank
guide
you
yourself
so
into
much.
thoughts and words and actions that feel good while you're thinking them, because as you are feeling good, then you are in the vibrational place of allowing who you really are to pour through. It is so much fun to watch our physical friends coming back consciously and deliberately into their own power. Are you appreciating your
Zaid says, I need to go to sleep. Bye. Bye, Zaid. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking with me. I'm glad I got to meet you today.
really the key, isn't it? If life as it comes to you.
Lee says 6 likes, 3 in the room. Thank you for supporting the host. And thank you for supporting host, Lee.
Consistently feel good to you as they hatch. And that means that your habit of thought, the thoughts that you continue to think, or your beliefs are not
Muhammad says, Kat,
from your desires.
I'm at home for 1 week.
Is small.
And when I finish
Then
drilling the well, maybe
then you feel like you felt when you were
I need 6 months, then I can see my wife in Turkey,
and
Samson.
kill it with your doubt.
And thank you so much, Magnetic.
That's the way you mean for your new desires to feel. Sometimes
6 months is a long time. And it's been longer than that, too. When's the last time you did see your wife and kids?
then you attempt, you're not good at it, no one can do it, to hold your desires
Lucy's
back
sending unicorn
because
vibes.
you are worried about disappointment. And as much better
Lucy, I'm never
if
sure when you go live anymore.
flow freely and
I
if
get
you
very
find
confused.
ways to keep up to speed with them, then not only do you feel really good moment by moment, it really is the secret to living happily ever after, but you are living as the laws of the universe dictate, really. And you
Your
are,
live stream
most
schedule.
important,
I've
fulfilling
seen you
the
pop up here and there.
expectation you had as you decided to come into this physical experience to begin
And
with.
I've said something,
In other words, you knew that
but you were
life
really
would keep
behind in
coming
chat
at
and I
you,
was in the middle
and
of
you know
work.
as it comes to you,
So
that
I'm
the
having a
course
hard
that
time
you
catching
follow
up with you in
will
your
cause you
live
to continue to
streams,
give birth
is what I'm
to new
getting at.
intentions, new desires, new wishes and hopes and dreams. And you
Lee
also
says,
knew
yay, love the
when you made the decision to
unicorns.
come to this physical body that you have the mental capacity to focus in such a way that you are not out of harmony with your own desires. And that really is what we are wanting to talk with you about all day, every day, because you can't stop those new desires from coming. Life produces those, but you can get off kilter from them. You can give birth to a desire that you just flat out don't believe, and then you hold yourself in misery because you
Muhammad
want
says,
something
you know,
that you
Cat,
don't. So you're offering in your
I'm a
doubt
drill man in the
resistance
oil
to a
wells.
desire that will not
I
go
know
away.
it's a long time, but I must
That
make money for my
existence of
family
desire
and my
will
mom.
not stop. It was born out of the momentum of the universe. It came to you because of other desires that you have. So every now and again, you come up clashing against a desire
I
that
love
you
that you
just
care about your
crave
family so much,
strongly,
Muhammad.
and a belief that just won't quite let
Oh
it go.
gosh,
So
Lucy.
that really is what
Lucy says, oh, I think
this
I had you
workshop
blocked,
is about.
but
It's
I blocked everybody. I
finding
recently
relief
unblocked
in
everyone.
your
I'm sorry. It's
resistance
okay. I didn't even know.
because
But thank you.
when you
I
let
was
go
taking
of
on a
that
little bit of
resistance,
guilt for not being able to
allow
find
faith
you.
to find you. That's when you feel that
You just
invigoration.
totally
That's when
relieved
you
me.
feel that
Thank you.
clarity. And that's when
I love you,
a
Lucy. I know
mystic
you
part of
have a
your
lot
life
of stuff
wants to
going
appear.
on,
That's
and
when
it's
you
fine.
get to witness the
Even if you
power of
block
the
me forever,
universe,
I'll still
the
love you.
touch of the universe, working in concert to fulfill your desire. And that's when you begin to accept
Yeah, Lee
how
says, bless
blessed
you,
you are
Muhammad. You're
and
a
how
good
worthy
man.
you are and how important to this equation of eternal
Oh,
creation
Lucy, well,
that
you
you are.
know,
You are
like I
living
said, I
as you
didn't even
created.
know,
Did you know
so.
that? And you came into this physical body with that powerful, joyful intention in mind. And when you got here, you found yourself among
Jack,
others who
leave it alone,
also
boy.
came for that same reason,
Leave it.
but who've been here long
Leave it, you
enough that
turkey.
they have
Ew.
developed patterns of thought that caused enough resistance in their own patterns of thought that
Oh,
they
Lucy
are
says,
sort
I
of
love you too, Cat.
pessimistic.
Aw.
They have in many cases given up on their desires. And so they hold themselves without meaning to in a sort of tortured experience where desires keep coming to them, but their patterns of thought won't let the desires flow freely. And so they've got a tug of war going on within them that is tension and stress and illness and all kinds of things that don't feel good. And it really
Muhammad
was not a
says,
plan that you had when you
life is
came,
very hard, but I am so
but
happy
you were
because I
coming
can make
as a
a happy
consciousness
life for my
into
family and my
the
mom.
best environment to inspire new ideas. And you also knew that as you came into this personality,
Lee
though a
from
large
Magnetic
part of
North
you
Adventure
sometimes
says,
refers to
Lucy,
as
the
your
main
soul,
thing
we call
is
it
we
your
can
inner
still be
being.
in
But
contact.
your inner
There's
being
nothing to
will
worry
remain
about. Sending
non-visible
love
at
and
first. In
peace
other
your
words,
way
watching what
always.
you're doing and noticing the experience that you're having
Right there. That's why
intimately
that's
and
that
incrementally
guy Lee. He's my friend.
while holding a
I'm proud to
vibration
call him my
of
friend.
knowing that you can
You
do
spend a
it.
little bit of time with
Your
Lee and you'll
inner being
understand.
believes in your desires. And when you don't believe in your
Muhammad says,
desires,
God
then
bless you
you
too,
have that
Magnetic.
resistance to your inner being.
Hi,
And
Maddie.
so
Good morning. You're not
it's
fishing
just like we
today.
all get back together to help you
Lee Sung
realign
Soon
with who you
TV
really are. You see, you're so important to the
puts up
equation
a link.
because you said,
Lee
hey,
Sung Soon
play
comes
around
in
with this
every
figure
morning and is very
and I'll go into
supportive.
my personality and I'll explore
So if
new
you'd
ways
like
to
to
work
support Lee
because
Sung Soon
there's not
TV
another
back,
who
that
sees
would
the
be
world
awesome.
exactly as you do. I will explore and I will come, you said, to my personal new preferences and desires.
Lucy says Yogi Eric is a really good friend. Yes, he
That there will
is.
be a buffer time from the giving birth of
Oh,
desire
Maddie says,
to its full
Lucy, much
realization
love.
of me. Because you know, in this physical environment, for your thoughts to turn to things. You know that there's a process where you must hold a thought and hold it consistently in the direction of what you want. That you can't want it and doubt it and move toward it. When you want
Are you
it and
watching
doubt
TV,
it, you
Jack?
go that way and that way. It's like a train with an engine going that way and an engine going that way, and the train isn't going anywhere because there's a tugging on both ends, which is really hard on the train. You're the train. So you said, I'll go into an environment that will inspire new desires, and we said we will remain non-physically focused, and when you launch a rocket of desire, we will give your desire our undivided attention. We'll hold steady to it. And you thought that was an especially good idea because before you came into this physical body, you knew unequivocally about
Muhammad
the
says, "Yeah,
important
you're
and
right, Lucy.
powerful
Yogi
laws
Eric
of the
is
universe.
a
You
good
knew
is
about law of
good
attraction.
friends,
And you knew that while you were
or maybe
focused on your
Yogi and
physical
Eric,
body,
the other
the
Eric,
law of attraction would be
are good
responsive to the
friends."
thoughts that you were offering. But you also knew that while you were in your physical body and your inner being was in your non-physical body, that your
Lucy
inner
says, "I
being
had to
would
copy
be
paste that in a
by law
different
of
message.
attraction.
LOL. That's why I
You
do
knew that law
retract.
of
That's
attraction is a
okay."
universal law. And so you knew that the potential
Lee says, "I'm going to
for your
Mudlark
desire
today
to gain its attraction
in the
power was
river.
your
I'll
inner
be
being
looking
is focused
for
upon.
the
You
fish
knew
too."
that. You
Awesome.
thought that was just the best idea. You said, oh, good, I'll launch the idea. I'll parlay it off to you. And you
Lucy
hold
said,
it
"Didn't
tight
fit."
and allow the cooperative components
So
to
Lee,
activate.
should
And
I
then you said the most important thing to which
pull the
we are
weeds off
all
that
a
tree
part of the promise that we
like
all
I'm
make with
weeding?
one another. You said, and I in my physical form will find my way to the vibrational bigness and
Hello,
sureness
comment
of my
deleted.
desire.
Thanks for the love,
Because when a desire is
heartless
new,
nomad.
it doesn't feel familiar. It's not easy for you to immediately accept a new desire. Because a part of you wants to say, well, if it were easy, I'd already have it, so it must be hard. Or if I were
Oh, and
great,
there's cold
I
as
already
ice.
have it, so I must not be. And so there is an evolution process.
Lucy
So
says, "Oh, that
you
message
must
didn't
call
go through
gestation
apparently."
process.
I mean, I just took a generic list of words that should be not displayed in chat. I don't know if that's what's happening. Lucy, it's possible. It doesn't tell me in my end. I don't even see. Lee says, "Hey, Nomad, I've missed you." And hi, Cold. And there's our friend Soul to Soul. Thank you guys for coming in. The multiple personalities of Maddie.
And while I really want it, it must be sort of hard to get or I would already have it. But I really want it, but I don't have it yet. But I really want it in some way, but I don't
Really?
very much.
Lisa's cat, "I think it's nature's way. Keep the face area clear, leave the rest." I have been pulling the vines off that area. Okay, good. But if you feel like I should do anything else, let me know. I was a little distressed.
We understand why, because what has manifested, those thoughts that have already turned to things,
Lee says, "Soul, it's been a moment." Oh, and there's a peeker, a lurker. There's nowhere to hide.
That the things that feel to you like just new ideas don't feel so real.
Lucy says, "There's one guy
We love you so much.
I really didn't like. Yogi Eric knows who he is. I do not like him.
That's a term of endearment.
He's why I blocked everyone and went crazy.
You are so
He
much
was
more
playing childish
attracted
games, making it
to
impossible to be his
to
friend."
giving your attention to what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. That
Magnetic
usually
North says,
wins
"Lurking nowhere,
rather than
LOL."
thinking about the new idea that has not yet manifested, that's still in vibrational form, that's still in the state of becoming. You would rather give your attention to what is, even if what is isn't what you want. So that's the part we're wanting to help you
Jackie,
get
are
over.
you watching
We
Abraham?
want you to
Hmm?
reach the place where the satisfaction factor is so important to you that you're willing to look into the ethers of what is in the state of becoming rather than need to look at the reality. If you don't need others to say, oh yeah, I've seen it. In other words, if you don't
Muhammad
need
says, "My dear friend Kat,
to agree that you've already got it or that it
Is my expression English clear? I'm afraid it's not. I think your English is very good, but if you feel like I added a word that's incorrect, that would be my fault. Lucy says, oh, I already read that one. I just missed Muhammad. Yes, and Lee says, Muhammad, you write good English. We understand well. Maddie says, I hope you had a good weekend, Kat and everyone. I did. It was a nice weekend. Busy. It was really, really busy Saturday. Lucy says, that guy is the only one I have banned for life. He had his chance. He does not get another one. Well, I'm glad you know what you want, Lucy. And what you don't want. That's really important too. Knowing what you don't want. And how would we know what we don't want unless we experience things we don't like? Muhammad says, oh, that's good. Thank you, Magnetic. Magnetic North says, Nomad doesn't travel far. He's a one-hit wonder.
To accomplish it, that's step 2. When you ask, it is given. And then step 3 is you must find a way to focus your mind in belief of what you desire and maintain that.
Maddie says, Nomad is a Lone Ranger. Sifts through streams, dropping likes. Well, we certainly appreciate it. Oh, what, Jack? Should I talk to you, Jack? Would that make you feel better? Huh? How are you, friend? Huh? One more day. One more day, and then we're done for a few days. Are you sleepy? Hmm?
It was a vibrational thing that existed that was focused upon enough without contradiction that it evolved into what you call your reality.
Lee says, agree. Sometimes it's best to loose the negative and continue being your positive self. Lucy, we are proud of you for being you. Keep spreading those unicorn vibes. How sweet. And Lucy's doing just that with unicorn vibes, hearts, and rainbows. Maddie says, nowhere to hide, finds you, and drops a like. Lucy says, thanks, Magnetic.
Or are you regurgitating what's already been created and complaining that you don't have more of the pile?
Magnetic North says, I love that, Nomad. I bet you could tell a few tales. Muhammad says, if my English writing is incorrect, please correct me and I will teach you Arabic in return. Ha ha ha. I am a hopeless case when it comes to other languages.
And that the hang-up is not that your inner being doesn't know, because it does, and isn't that your inner being isn't telling you, because it is.
Maddie says, we all missed you, Lucy. You have many friends. You're awesome. That's true. That's what I keep telling her. I miss her face. I love you so much and I miss you.
Which means you have to be willing to let yourself have some fun. You have to be willing to let yourself gravitate to.
Lucy says, oh, Eric knows everything. He does. No, but she says he knows everything. I told him all the details about that situation. Lucy says, thank you so much, and I'm glad to be here.
She woke up and suddenly she had this very strong, happy impulse to learn the music system in the house. Been in that house 10 years. Never really understood how the music system worked.
Here's the boy.
Never cared before this morning. This morning, she's ravenous about it. Ooh, think about this music system. So she sits down.
Lucy says, thank you so much, No Frills.
Has a television screen up, and she discovers discovers all kinds of things that were very easy to discover because she wasn't in the I can't do it mode. She was in the wouldn't this be fun mode because she was in the receptive mode, and that's what we were saying to her. Wouldn't this be fun? Now, we knew that if she could get there, that she could get someplace else, and she could get someplace else, and she could get someplace else, and she could get someplace
Maddie
else.
says, we are glad you're back, Lucy. You're part of the big family on YouTube.
She just needs one turn at a time.
For sure. She certainly is.
Try to get lost in the process. Are you following
She's
me?
been on my mind.
So, the impulse for the
Lisa's cat, I'm going to change diet and do all I can for plane ticket by end of August. As end of September doesn't give much notice.
Lots of different types of music, and she could play it as loud as she wanted to in many different segments of the house. Outside in the courtyard, outside on the patio, outside on the deck, outside.
Well, don't do anything that's not good for you, Lee. And don't worry about it. I personally, Jake, who knows about Jake, but I have those 3 days off every week. So whenever you're here, it's fine with me.
What she was listening to, it was so good. It was moving her in new ways, and she was finding.
And to be honest, I've asked Jacob a couple times.
Surprising her and delighting
He can really never commit because of work. So you've got me no matter what. And don't worry about your diet. Don't change anything. Take care of yourself, Lee.
And you are coming out of meditation, and then a thought comes to you. There's a very strong probability that that thought is coming from your inner being because your mind has been quieted, so you're not too.
Muhammad says, did you know, my dear friend, that I can speak Turkish and Kurdish in addition to English, but I am not good at writing English? I think you sell yourself short, Muhammad. Wow, you speak all those languages, and your writing in English is very good. Better than a lot of English-speaking writers. Natural English-speaking. No, Muhammad says, I love learning languages just like you, Kat. No, I don't love learning languages.
It sounds like madness to someone who has not just been meditating, but the feelings are so strong.
Yes, Maddie says, Muhammad, your English is fantastic.
I should move the furniture around. It's, I really, really want to move this furniture around. So she got on the internet.
Lee says it has to be October as November gets cold and expensive. I need a change anyway, as I feel it'll do me good.
We're such nice people, and they're moving that over there, and that over there, and that over there, and that down there, and that up there, and that over there, and that over there, and that over there, and then a lot of it they put back to where it originally was, because most of it had been sort of in a really good place before, but it was really fun to show that to herself, and so she moved it around, and it took quite a while to move everything around, and she was having such a good time. It was so fun to have people who could so easily move so much around, and just the fact that they could move things around made her want to move more things around.
Good morning, my good friend Marlon. How are you today?
And then now they're looking at her because this girl is having way too much fun for somebody her age. And they want to know what she's about.
MK says good morning. God morning. I like God morning too. That works. Lucy says, hey MK. Everybody says hello.
Why? He said, because I am a rapper.
Then he says, well, better. Does that mean you're doing better, friend?
So she goes into her musical
yes, Lee's taking it that way too. Glad you're doing better, for sure. Hate to see my friends going through it. But that is life. How else would we know what we don't care for unless we go through things we don't like?
She's trying to hold her body still because it's really, 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 really good. And then he says, what do you do?
I told you I wasn't going anywhere.
And then Victor said, I'm a teacher. And he said, what do you teach? She said, math. But then she began talking to him about what she teaches. She has some books there. She signed them. They got into a conversation about that. So
Marlon says, yes, things are going better. I won't say good, but better. That's awesome. I was just listening to Abraham Hicks say, just reach for the next best feeling.
For you to find answers to your questions and for you to fulfill your dreams. And so, with that active vibration within her, what's the path of least resistance? Her inner
Oh,
being knows
goodbye, Jack.
resistance. Her inner being not
You going to
only
bed?
knows what Esther has to offer. Her inner being and the inner being of this
I didn't think so.
world know what she was looking for. And universal forces know what cooperative components are. Everyone non-physical knew that it would be
Lee from Magnetic North Adventure says, MK, can I ask you call me North? As Sebastian Lee Lou is also known as Lee. Well, that's just not okay, because you were Lee to us first. Excuse me.
There's no way Esther could have gotten there then. In other words, the path of least resistance was the way that it
Muhammad said, as a teenager, I was obsessed with the singer Michael Bolton. Really? That's great. Like, Jack is literally hiding from y'all. I'm just not going to force him. Here, you can just look at Debbie, okay? Because Jack's just not having it today.
What is the path of least resistance way to get you there? What's the path of least resistance way to get you there? Because the path of least resistance way is the
Carl, hi there. Thank you, Lucy. If it wasn't for Lucy saying hi, Carl, I would have missed you this morning. How are you, friend? I'm so glad to see you. Marlon says, I've already had tea, breakfast, and a little training. Sunscreen on the part, or a little tanning with sunscreen on the parts that get easily sunburned. Dundee says, debatable how healthy it is, but I'll be fishing outside soon, and I'm not used to it. I'll get burned way too fast. Lee says, I'm going to be burnt today. 0 sunscreen on today. Same. Dundee says, you're the original Lee and always will be, but I can call you North if you want.
Took place over a relatively short period of time, 2 days, period of time, after 2 days of meditation, 2 15-minute segments.
Lee from Magnetic North Adventure says, then in that case, MK, thank you. Whichever feels best, I'm okay with. Yes, Lucy says, my bright unicorn vibes stand out is how you notice Carl. Yes. How is your weather, Carl? We are humid, humid, humid. Humid and wet.
This person who was looking for her and she was looking for him. If you're not trying to get all the way down the road and figure out everything, if you can trust that your inner being knows everything and that your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to it, and this is the piece that you've got to accept about all.
Marlon says, okay, Lee, when it's just you, I prefer calling you Lee. Oh, so good, Carl. Carl says, lovely sunny weather. I just, Marlon, don't make it like that. Don't make it uncomfortable for me. Pretty please.
Enthusiasm rather than boredom. Path of least resistance always feels a little better. But you all have trained yourself mostly.
Muhammad says, in 2004 and 2005, I was working with the American Army in Baghdad, Iraq. So I learned American accent from them. I had a friend named Espafi. Thanks, Marlon. I love you.
I'm miserable, but it's worth it. And we say, we're asking you to pay a terrible price of joy. We know we are. And we're asking you to accept a lot. We're asking you to accept that your vortex exists because it does. And we're asking you to accept that your inner being is aware of it because your inner being is. And we're asking you to accept the love of your inner being shining on you.
Maddie says, Carl, my friend.
And we're asking you, most of all, we're asking you, listen. Which means you got to put yourself in a position that you can hear, which means you gotta quiet your mind.
Marlon says, hi, Maddie.
Before you can hear. And what you're gonna hear is not gonna sound like world peace. It's gonna sound like moving furniture. It's gonna sound like figuring out a music system. It's gonna sound like going to Taco Bell and getting something to eat. It's gonna sound like taking a walk. It's gonna feel like, it may not even sound, it's gonna feel like we love you so much and we know so well that if you will do this, you will like it. Without the promise of where it will lead, this, you gotta like this because you're not ready for all of this. And if you need all of this before you feel better,
Lee from Magnetic North says, I wonder how far you are from South Carolina, Cat. A couple hours. Carl says, I found it tough yesterday. I'm sorry, Carl. You made it through, though, and today's a new day. The mountain zone of South Carolina. I want to say 2 hours, but I really definitely would not swear to it.
And because I feel like it doesn't fly usually with most people, does it? Because you feel like it. Well, I feel like you cleaning out the garage. That's what I feel like you doing. I feel like you cleaning out the garage, and I feel like you going and getting a job. That's what I feel like. I feel like
Muhammad says, if you knew how much I love this picture on the wall, the picture of this girl with a cup. Is that a picture you have, Muhammad? Yeah, and Lee says, Lee from Magnetic North Adventures says, Carl, I hope you have a better day and a week from today. And Lucy's sending unicorn vibes.
We're asking a lot of you to be less human and less tangible and more feeling the vibration of this vibrational reality. And we're asking you to accept that this receiving mode is happening, and we're asking you to quiet your mind and listen to it. And we know it's a lot to ask because
Lee from Magnetic North Adventures says, Kat, would you be interested maybe in a mudlark in that area? I'm working on a few areas that are full of history. Absolutely. I've just been waiting for you to point me in the direction, Lee.
Coming to you, and you have enough confidence in this process that you follow the impulse so that you get to experience or witness the
Oh no, he had to go bark at something.
You have to put yourself in a position where you consciously receive the impulse and where you witness the outcome of having received and followed that impulse before any of this is going to make sense to you. But once it does, you only have to do it a time or two or a time or two or a time or three or four, and then you'll be hooked on alignment. You'll be hooked on.
Lee says that's an area I'll work if the paper's clear. Oh, you'll be working on as in for work?
Welcome to the Heal with Kelly podcast. I'm Kelly Noonan-Gorse, and every week I speak to the leading doctors, healers, spiritual teachers, and scientists to find out what is truly possible when it comes to healing. I also interview real people with extraordinary healing stories. My philosophy is, what's possible for one is possible for all. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful journey of remembering our divine nature and tapping into the truths that shall set us free. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Heal with Kelly podcast. I am just over the moon thrilled to have Marianne Williamson here with me today, back on the podcast in this really, perfect time to be alive. We are in the fire of transformation, and she's written this new book called The Mystic.
Okay, he is out. Out of here.
The other day, Esther was
Yes, the job offer, and I'll contact with history groups. Nice. Now I'm studying what toxic plants, etc. Lee says, I have to go. My mate is here. Have a good day, all. You too. Have fun, Matt. Lee.
Is used to increase momentum. It is used to pick a topic that you would like to make dominant and increase the vibration of it, which is what makes it dominant. So, the focus
Maddie says, bye, Lee, buddy.
you're observing life, something that you observe could be improved, and you recognize it. So you sit with the intention of improving your vibration on a subject. So you start with where you are. Such and such sucks. And then
That's Jack.
always you know what you don't want, or just a flash you know what you do want. So on the other end of that stick is a clearer than usual picture of what you do want. I know I don't want this, I would prefer this. So in the center of a page, as she always draws a big circle, and she writes a positive statement that right now is not dominant within her at all. In fact, the opposite of it is dominant within her.
Excuse you, sir. That's my stuff. You're quite rude. You're quite rude.
For a little while and allow it to become more dominant. You follow me? So she writes this in the center, and then she tries to think of things that are easy to think of.
Muhammad says, my mother says this picture is of a girl from my era in the 50s because when I was young, I used to browse American magazines about models from that period. Nice. Carl says, my friend Fran went live yesterday. That's nice.
Sometimes the momentum comes so
Really nice.
that she finds what she has written in the center to be dominant.
What's up, Jack?
She changed what was dominant to something else.
Leave it.
We call that totally creative. It's fun.
Oh my goodness. You heard me. I said leave it, okay? You leave it alone. You leave it alone.
Yes. Idea of cleaning up a vibration has resistance in it because there's something to clean up. And when you focus too long or too hard on what you're cleaning up, you make it dominant. Something that bothers you, but you can make that thing that bothers you.
Maddie says, first time I've heard Jack being vocal. He has a deep bark. He does.
We love you so much. That's what humans do. You try so hard to get it right. You want so much to be good at what you do that you are
Muhammad says, my mom also told me
in your quest for
about the twist dance
goodness or improvement.
in the 60s. Is that Chubby Checker or somebody else? Come on, baby, let's do the twist.
So hard on cleaning up a vibration that she had been aware of keeps rearing its ugly head. But while she was going through the motions and actually slightly improving the way she feels, overall,
Oh,
too much focusing on the same subject over and over again was making what she didn't want dominant.
Maddie says, Chubby Checker.
And can you put it in
Chubby
the
Checker and the Fat Boys.
So something very
So interesting.
happened to Esther during this process. Right in the middle of the process, she grew weary of the subject. Sort of like sitting and looking through the catalog too long. Has that ever happened to you? Seemed like a good idea. Ooh, I'd like that, and I'd like that, and I'd like that. But after about 25 catalogs, you just want to vomit. Too much. You know what we're talking about.
I feel like I know that because of the Chubby Checker thing, because of advertisements for music from that time. Kind of remember commercials on TV.
For ease of conversation, a really good description. She reached a place without, in that moment, being able to consciously identify it, of just giving up. It was like, enough already. Enough already. I said what I want what I've said. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Something like that. And in the process of that, she doesn't even know how she did it. So we can't even really teach it to you. We're just telling you it's possible. Oh, we'll show you how. Esther fast forwarded into an uncluttered space.
Muhammad says, I always play the twist song for her, and she smiles and goes in her imagination to the happy past. And I say to her, Mom, where did your imagination go? That's lovely. That's beautiful. So sweet.
Since I'm starting over right now, because every moment you're starting over. In every moment, you're starting over on what you make dominant. Since I'm starting over right now, what do I choose? What do I choose since I'm starting over? It was like she rocketed through a portal where no resistance went with her. She was free of the focus wheels, free of trying to clean stuff up. She went into a sort of dream state, a sort of state of, since I get to choose whatever I want, what do I choose? She was free of now reality and just in a dream state of, what would I choose about this? Well, I would choose this, and I would choose this, and I would choose this, and I would choose this. She was breathless. And the reason we're telling this to you is because it was so obvious to Esther the difference between trying to clean up a vibration and just starting fresh on a subject where there's nothing to clean up and allowing yourself to go right to where you want to be. So we want to talk to you about vibration and momentum, and about where you stand, and about how through life you have sent all of these vibrational rockets forward, which have become the vibrational version of who you are. And the vibrational version of who you are is such a real thing. We call this vibrational reality. We gave it a name, the Vortex, wrote 2 books about it, because we want you to feel the bigness and the realness and the wholeness of it. But most of all today, we want you to feel the resistance, freeness.
Are you coming back over?
We want you to feel the sweetness.
Are you?
The niceness of it, the love of it, the bigness of it, and most of all, the power of it.
You don't know what to do you? You can get on the bed. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get up on the bed. You're good. Where's your monkey? Where's your monkey at, Jack? Get your monkey. Carl says, I don't listen to music. No, but you listen to the bird music outside your door. Monkey? Go get your monkey. I'm going to get your monkey. I'm going to go get it. That's your monkey. Where'd the monkey go? Where'd it go?
The finding, the clutching, the resistance of what is, just for a little while we're chewing together today. Please accept the existence of a fresh, non-resistant you, who you get glimpses of all the time. You see it in the animals that are frolic.
Muhammad says, she tells me,
and you see it in yourself, well, not so often, when you frolic.
Don't think I was born a grown woman. I was young. Your father and I used to dance for long periods of time until we got tired and sat down. Muhammad says, how beautiful our past was, more beautiful than your present. And yeah, I could see that. A lot more innocent too. Did you find your monkey, Jack? Did you give up?
The other morning, Esther had been watching television before she went to bed, and when she woke up, the first thought in her mind was, I hate that person. It's a person on television, an easy to hate person. And because she was so new to the day and didn't have much momentum going, we said to her, and she heard us, hate is hate. Hating somebody is hate. There's just no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. You want to make hate dominant, then watch television.
I'm sorry.
That's not really fair because there are lovely things on television. But you're not ready for it yet. You've got a lot to make dominant before you can turn it on again. So, I'm talking to you about whatever matters to you.
What the heck was that, huh?
Recall with us today that you were source energy before you came into this body, and the larger part of you still is. And while you've been here sifting and sorting and launching rockets, you have evolved as that.
Carl says, I hate my past. Well, I have good news for you, Carl. The past is gone. It's no longer here.
So much more than it was when you first started in this body. And you are not ever going to be happy unless you are up to speed with that.
I don't think the past will ever be here now.
Keep up with your own evolution. You cannot let what is hold you back. And what is will hold you back. What is holding you back. Because you're observing what is, it's full of vibration. You activate vibration of what is, you tap the vibration of what is.
Muhammad says, Cat, is the character on the picture on the wall real or just a model? My mother is asking. That is little Debbie, and she is an iconic face in America for snack cakes, and the picture is based off of a real life girl, Debbie or Deborah or whoever she is. I don't know if she's still alive, but she stayed looking sweet like that most her life. So little Debbie snack cakes, my downfall, full of sugar, all the bad stuff. And Muhammad says, Carl, why do you hate your past? And I'm sorry for asking you.
And that together we make dominant the things that you've chosen through life that are, in the greater scheme of things, dominant. You are the creator of your reality. Sometimes we ask, why are you here? What did you come for? And sometimes people come because there's something specific that they want to make happen in their life. I want to live in a different place, or I want to be in a happy relationship, or I would like more money in my life so that I can have more freedom, or I would like more rewarding work, or I would like to have more freedom in my day. There are very specific things or needs that you come wanting, and we're encouraging all of that. But at the basis of every single thing you want, whether it's a relationship or a material object or a pile of money, everything that you want, what you really want, is the feeling of joy, the feeling of freedom, the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of alignment with who you have really become. So if life has caused you to want more money, vibrationally speaking, you have abundance that you are depriving yourself of. If life has caused you to want an improved relationship, vibrationally speaking, you are pinching yourself off from the relationship improvement that you want. And the reason that you're doing it is not because you're a masochist, and it's not because you're not wise, and it's not because you're not capable. It's because you've been lured by what is into a vibrational pattern that won't let you go. Sometimes you notice that you are standing in a place that you do not want to be. in your awareness that you are not where you want to be. And in that frustration, the frustration itself is your indicator that you are right now misaligned with who you are and with what you want. Sometimes you feel defensive about it. You want
Oops.
to explain why you're there. And we say,
Muhammad says,
a little bit of
I
that
love my
is
past because my country was
the more
very
you instead want.
wonderful,
In other words, the more you
but
choose what
now
you want, the more clearly you
not.
know what you do want. And so when you are in that uncomfortable place, you're certainly applying step one all over the place.
I think you're saying you took your wife and kids to Turkey to be more safe.
And more time in step three.
Hi, Yogi.
Step two,
Yogi says, writing done. Cat time. Yay.
so what do we
But
mean?
not catnap time.
Well, don't spend too much time trying to defend where you are.
Muhammad says, hello, my friend Yogi.
How long you've been there. Sometimes people come to the hot seat and they want to talk about an issue. And we say, we'll hear you briefly, but we really don't want to spend very much time talking about your issue, because when we talk about your issue, what we do is keep activated the vibration that you've already been practicing. And when we keep activated the vibration that you've already been practicing, the vibration that has already shown you is not going to get you to where you want to be, then this becomes another exercise in futility, because all we do is practice the vibration that isn't working for you.
Yogi says, hi, Muhammad, my friend. I hope you slept well, Yogi.
Because that vibration is so dominant, and sometimes it feels like they just need to talk about it. And we say, we really don't want to talk about it very much. We want to talk about something that feels good. And they'll say, but I can't talk about this and feel good. And we say, then let's talk about something else. And they'll say,
And Carl says, thanks, Tracy, for the answer.
and we say, but that is your problem.
Thanks,
And they say,
Tracy.
we know that's our problem. That's why we want to talk about this. And we say, yes,
I was waving.
continues to activate the
Like
problem.
literally, I was waving in the background.
And they say, but I don't know what the solution is. That's why I'm here. I want to tell you what my problem is so you can give me the solution. And we say, yes, but if you activate your problem, you can't hear the solution. And they say, give me my money back. We have a new process that we're offering called virtual reality. You spend 30 seconds there, and you pretend like you're a director of a movie where you get to choose the setting, you get to choose where it's happening, you get to choose the time of year, you get to pick your favorite place, your favorite time of year, your favorite time of day.
Muhammad says, the greatest achievement in my life is to meet true friends like you. May God and the Virgin Mary protect you forever. Oh, thank you for that blessing, Muhammad.
You get to choose your favorite thing to say. Sometimes it is better that way.
I ask for the same protection over you and your loved ones.
As Esther began playing the game, she understood our motive. Because
That's
she
just beautiful,
recognizes
Muhammad.
that even as good feeling as she usually is, that she has some beliefs that she's carried around all of her life that still are dominant within her vibration, beliefs that do not serve her. And as she feels some of them surface from time to time,
Amen.
she listens to so many of you talking about things that have happened to you before, and she realizes the struggle that you are in. She said to us one day, Abraham, I can damn well choose which vibration is dominant within me. And we said, well, we had hoped it would feel more positive to you. But it is a good first step, because you certainly can choose. And it takes that sort of determination. I'm going to
Yogi says, love you, my friend Muhammad.
But many times you're not prepared.
And Carl says, goodbye, I'm heading away.
Something causes
Goodbye, Carl. I hope you have a great day, and I love you. Oops. Oopsie.
You just can't find a thought that is different from it. That's why you keep practicing the same thought. So this game of virtual reality is a game for one reason only. It's only for you to practice choosing thoughts and making them
Lucy says, good
dominant.
morning, Yogi
It's
Eric.
about you showing yourself that you can take a thought, a simple thought, focus on it, make it dominant, so that you gain confidence enough that you can then begin to take some of those other beliefs is something missing from your life right now, you've got to change some vibration. If there's something in your experience right now that you don't want, you've got to change some vibration. You cannot continue to bit along in a habitual pattern of offering form and have anything in your experience change. You've got to change it. Esther took 10 years of piano lessons when she was a little girl. Well, she was little when she started.
Muhammad says we say amen in Arabic with the same pronunciation. Amen. I was guessing that, Muhammad, but thank you for clarifying. And Muhammad says, see you later, Carl. Bye, Carl. Yogi says, good morning, Lucy, my friend.
We want you to practice more than at the lesson. We want you every day, if you are really serious about changing your vibration, we want you to begin to play this game of virtual reality several times every day until before you know it, you will be able to choose which vibrations you want to make dominant. Never again was something that happened when you were 3 or 5 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, something else that happened that was so dominant that it caused you to offer a vibration. Never again will something other than what you choose be your dominant vibration. And when that happens, you are then the deliberate creator of your own experience. Because it turns out, creating is really about letting in what you've already easily chosen as you've moved through the contrast of your time-space reality. It's not so much about goal setting. The goal setting happens. It's about aligning to your own goal.
Oops, again.
We are eager to visit with you about anything that is important. It will be a very nice unfolding. Many of you have been hearing us and others. You are powerful in your creating. And you've come to play with us to the leading edge. And we are prepared, along with you, to take thought beyond that which it has been before. It's always delicious to come across an obvious new idea. It is so exhilarating to be right there, chewing on something, and all of a sudden have the next logical step that has never been understood before appear right before you and to feel you right there with it. You are powerful creators. You are not regurgitators at all. You said, I want to come forth into this time-space reality, and I want to feel the exhilaration of my purpose and my focus. And together with others, I will take thought beyond that which is been. You said, I'll pay attention to the way I feel, because I have this guidance within me that lets me know my vibrational harmony. I can feel when I'm in alignment with who I really am, and I can feel that I'm not. So as the new ideas are born, I will literally mold them by feeling and thinking, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling. I will project a thought, and then I will feel it into place. I will project a thought, and then I will feel it into place. And gently, I will enjoy my expansion. Your dominant quest for all of eternity, and certainly that which you held before you made the intention to come forth into this physical body, was to feel good. Joy was your quest. Because you knew if you were feeling for that resonance of joy, then you were feeling for
Muhammad says, I hope to meet and see you, my friends, even if it is on screen. I mean via live broadcast, or through your social media networks.
You knew that it would provide for you endless stimulation of thought. And you knew that sometimes you would get into a thought that you didn't understand. You knew that you would be out there like an explorer or a pioneer on the leading edge. And you
Isn't that cool that we can do that?
because you knew you had a compass within you that would help
Be so far away, but yet be right here in each other's space, wherever that is.
You said, I'll go forth and do what feels best. For in that choice, it must be right for me. Because you were wise enough to know you cannot choose what is right in every moment for everyone. Because everyone's not in the same place of asking. The same answer can't answer all of the questions. There are different questions. And what comes forth for you is always appropriate in the moment. We just want you to begin to trust the way you guide you. They might be guiding you to what's right for them. You hear it sometimes when they say, "You selfish pig. Don't do what you want to do. Do what I want you to do." That's an example of that. You need to do what's right, and it will please me when you do it. And we say, "Wrong answer." Sometimes it's fun to please them. Pleasing them sometimes feels good. But if you reach this place where you are reaching to please them, and they are out of sync with Source, then pleasing them cannot possibly please you. If you have someone dominant in your experience, who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and they're holding you as their object of attention, and in their adoring of you, you reach to do what would make them feel good, you're in good hands, because they're in alignment with Source. And as you reach to please them and do, then you've pleased Source. We'd rather that you do it because it feels good to you. And in truth, we think that that is usually what happens. But if you are trying to please someone who's not connected to Source, you get more and more and more and more and more out of balance.
I glitched.
Rather than trying to determine whether they are,
My attention glitched.
whether they aren't, because it comes and goes with everyone. Just pay attention to the way you feel, and then your compass is steady, and you're always on a joyful path.
Muhammad says, I know this is hard, but I feel like you have become part of a family, and I am very happy about that. You know what, Muhammad? I was thinking the same thing the other day.
But what's at the end of this path?
How we're building not just a community, a family.
But what am I doing it for? Joy. But where will it end? It won't.
Thanks for that reminder. And I feel the same way, Muhammad.
I never get it done. That's pretty much it. We never get it done. We never get it done. But when you think about it, have you ever been on a joyous path, like a vacation, or eating an ice cream cone, when you wouldn't have minded if it didn't end, or you wouldn't have minded if it just went on and on? You were having such a good time. The idea of it continuing to expand before you felt so good. Well, that's the way this life experience felt to you from your non-physical perspective. And it's the way we want you to remember again. Jerry and Esther were leaving a hotel in San Diego the other day. And the bellman who was helping them with their luggage stood with Esther on the curb while Jerry went to get the car. And he said, "I met a lot of happy people this weekend who were at your seminar. What was it about?" And Esther said, "Oh, it's about letting the well-being that is natural in." He said, "What?" Esther said, "Well, it's about understanding that we are supposed to feel good and just not doing that thing that keeps us from feeling good. And if we don't do that, then we feel good." And he said, "What?" And then a family is coming out to the hotel, and a little girl who could not have been more than 3 years old, maybe not even that, tiny little thing, is pushing on the big, heavy glass door.
Oh, Muhammad. Muhammad says, sorry, Cat. Can you say that again? You speak very fast. I wish I could say it again, but I don't even remember what I said. Oh, except for, I agree with what you're saying about a community and a family. I feel the same way.
And she's explaining to all of them, "I did this all by myself. I did this all by myself." And then a parade of strangers are coming out of the hotel, one after the other. The little girl is holding the door, and she's telling each of them, "I did this all by myself." Her beauty and her purity and her joy brought one man nearly to tears. He could hardly believe that this little bit of a thing that did not come to his knee was holding the door for him. And then she bounced down the sidewalk with her family, shouting all the way to the parking garage, "I did that all by myself." You're knowing what you're wanting? Really? You are enjoying the expansion the evolution, the changing, the amending of your own desire? Really? Do you understand that that desire that continually focuses within you is your primary reason for being? You know, you are extensions of Source, not here to catch up with Source. You are leading edge extensions.
You're
of
welcome,
Source.
Mohammed.
So here you are out here on the leading edge, where the contrast and variety of your environment causes you to focus. Oh, such a good word. Focus. Whether you know it or not, whether you speak about it or not, focus. Desire. Preference is born within you constantly. And those preferences emanate from you vibrationally. Whether you speak about the preference or whether you just feel it or whether you're even consciously aware of it, the contrast causes the preference, and the preference emanates a vibrational signal which law of attraction answers. So when you ask,
Muhammad says, okay, guys, I should go right now.
sometimes we think,
I wish you a
as we
wonderful,
heal you, as we speak
I wish a
those
wonderful
words,
day for you, Kat.
that you don't yet understand the importance of that
And bye.
process.
Bye, Muhammad. Have a
The
wonderful day.
value of
Love to you and your
presenting
mother.
yourself into an environment like this physical life experience in this body at this time on this planet, this time-space reality. Sometimes we think that you don't really understand the importance of your moving around here, your interacting with others, your coming to your important personal conclusions. But we know the importance of the personal preferences that are born within you. You're the only one having this experience known as your experience here and now. And as you move about and your desire formulates within you, you uniquely summon, and the universe expands because of your being. Now, that
Amen.
in and of itself makes you worthy.
God bless you all.
In the world and beyond that you could
Bye.
possibly think
Amen.
to ask for. You're not here proving
Sometimes
worthiness.
reading backwards doesn't
You
work,
came
Yogi.
as worthy beings wanting the experience of expansion. So, when you ask every single time, all resources, and we can't begin to describe those to you, move into place, circumstances and events in order to help you to achieve that which you are asking for.
My back.
The art of
My
allowing.
happy camper.
It isn't about convincing you of your worthiness, because we cannot convince you of something that you've made your mind up about. And your worthiness, as far as we're concerned, is not an issue. You are worthy. We're not here to coach you or teach you or guide you or hope that you will find specific things to want or desire. That's your job. You get to choose that. No one is monitoring that and cataloging, pigeonholing the appropriateness of the desires that are being born within you. You get to choose, and what you choose is right. So what we're about is helping you, if you want it, to find vibrational alignment with the desires that this time-space reality has produced within you. Nothing is more miserable than to be focused in this magnificent body, have your environment produce for you a flaming, raging, fantastic desire, and you stand with the belief that you can't have it. That is a gross misalignment of your energy. And that equals negative emotion within you, which is the indication of your gross misalignment of energy. So the art of allowing is about learning to manage your energy. It's about learning to balance your energy. Not balance your energy with everybody else on the planet. Not balance your energy with your mother or with your lover or with what Republicans say or the Democrats say or the Christians say or the Muslims say. It's not about balancing your energy with anything outside of you. It's about balancing your energy within you. Balancing the energy that is you. Balancing the energy that is your source with the energy that is your desire, with the energy that is your right now in this moment vibration. Do you know what accomplishes your right now in this moment vibration? What you're giving your attention to, what you're focused upon. So whether you are remembering or pondering pondering or musing or imagining or observing or contemplating. All of those words and all of those experiences mean a focusing of energy. They mean an offering of a vibration, which is having a relationship with the vibration that is really you. So it works like this. The vibration that is really you is a vibration of pure positive energy, which means it has no resistance in it, which means it has no lack in it, which means it has nothing that feels negative in it, which means it feels really, really good. The vibration that is who you really are, the vibration of your source, you would describe in words like love or appreciation or passion. The vibration that is really you is a pure, positive, really good feeling to you energy. That's who you really are. So this energy of love that is really you is pulsing within you. You can never turn that off. That's the eternal vibration that is you. That's always pulsing in the background. So when we talk about aligning energy or balancing energy, we're talking about you now tweaking your in-the-moment focus or perspective into alignment with that undercurrent of energy of well-being. It's your guiding light, so to speak. It's your feeling tone. It's your feeling energy. It's the true essence of who you are. And when you are paying attention to the way that energy feels and you're
Found your hairball.
the energy of your
I've been looking for it.
matches up with that, that's how you balance your energy. You understand that you cannot set your radio dial
Oh, I know, Bubba.
and hear what's being broadcast on 98.6 FM. You understand the matching of those frequencies. And this is the same sort of matching of frequencies. There's this frequency that is your true tower, your true transmitting tower, the vibration that is really you, that transmits at this very high, pure frequency. So, for example, that is a frequency that adores you, that loves you, that finds you worthy. So if you are, in some moment, focused on some aspect of your life and you are condemning yourself, blaming yourself for something you've done in the past, or hating yourself because you are not feeling good now, what happens is, as you offer that vibration here and now, that vibration that feels like, I don't like me, the discord that is within you is the discord that happens when you offer a thought about yourself that is so contrary to how who you really are really feels about yourself. You see what we're getting at? When you look at your president of your nation and you condemn him for something that you disapprove of, that focus takes you out of alignment with who you are. When you give your attention to anything, and in giving your attention to it, you don't feel good, that is your indication that you are in this moment not managing your energy. You're out of balance. That's all that means. You hear a lot of talk about balancing energy, and yet most people have no clue how to go about balancing energy. And it's not something that once you get it done, it's done forevermore. It's like riding the knob on the mixer to make sure that the
I
sound
think
balance
it's
is
coffee
constantly in
time.
place. In other words, someone will sit
If we can
behind you
find
today,
a coffee
and they'll
cup.
get too close to the microphone or too far away from the microphone, and Jerry will scramble and turn knobs to try to keep a consistent sound coming out into the room and into the recordings because he's wanting to balance the energy. And you need to ride constant vigil on your mixer also. In other words, you are really, really, really wanting to be a vibrational match with who you really are. And when you're not a vibrational match with who you really are, your indicators will let you know that. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We want you to understand that who you are right now and who you are becoming is completely up to you. We just want to put our 2 cents worth in by saying to you that who you really are is a clear-minded, magnificent, good-feeling, brilliant, creative, loving genius. That's who you really are. And the closer you come to recognizing that about you, the closer you come to really practicing the art of allowing. We want you to love you. But for most of you, that's the hardest task you ever embark on. Because you've been practicing not loving you as you've been comparing yourself to standards that others have devised in order to try to help them control the conditions
that they thought they needed to control in order to feel better, which never worked for them. So the effort you made at being who you thought they needed you to be so that they would feel better always failed. And that caused an eroding of your sense of worthiness. We just can't say it any clearer than that. But you know what? You can wad that all up and leave it behind if you will decide today or tomorrow, no rush, that nothing is more important than that you feel good and that you've got control of that. Every relationship you have will improve immediately because you'll be letting them all off the hook. Can you imagine how refreshing it would be to hear from someone you love, hey, I'm no longer holding you responsible for my happiness. So call me if you feel like it. Come see me if you want to. Send me gifts, send me presents. Do whatever pleases you. But I'm joyful and in love with life and loving you no matter what you do. Because I've discovered the freedom that only came to me when I realized that my happiness cannot depend on anything anybody else is doing. It puts too much pressure on them to perform in ways they can't possibly perform. And it holds me in a place of constant hurt because you keep letting me down. So I'm letting us all off the hook. I've decided to be joyful, or do the best I can to be joyful. Today I'm ornery, but I'm on my way to joyful. Happy in my orneriness. Feel so much better than the despair I felt last week. So I'm celebrating my orneriness by announcing to you that you don't have to please me anymore because I found out that that's not the key to my happiness. True freedom in that knowing. Do you have some things you want to talk about? Yes. You know that everything that you want to know, we will talk about here today. Whether you sit in the chair or not, your questions will be addressed fully. Sometimes someone else will answer your question even better than you will. It makes it good for you because you can hear the answer better. Hear first, yes? You can hear the answer better if you're not in the hot seat. You know why? Because step 1 is ask and step 3 is receive. And when you're asking a question, you're usually in the vibration that says, I want to know the answer to this thing I don't know the answer to. Interesting, isn't it? So sometime between the time you ask the question and you receive the brilliant answer that we're going to give you, you have to get into the place of expecting to receive the answer. It is wonderful to come together with those like you who are coming more in every day to understand who you are. Be easy about all of this. You make too much of all of it. You're supposed to feel good and life is supposed to be fun. And you are genius creators here as the extension of all that is on the leading edge of expansion. Feel good about that. Love yourself. Feel happy for your willingness to participate in this contrasting experience. And feel proud of the desire that is born out of the contrast. And turn your attention as quickly as you can to the new desire that has been born. And therefore ride the wave. There is nothing more exhilarating than to have hatched a desire and then to line up with it and feel the thrill of consciously watching universal forces carve out consistent places for you to move to. There is nothing more nurturing or reassuring than to be the conscious receiver of the things you have deliberately asked for. Oh, it's fun to feel good and have life be good to you. But it's so much more fun to specifically, deliberately ask and then train yourself into trusting and believing and then see the evidence showing itself to you over and over again. When you feel that kind of pride about your deliberate creation, you'll know you're in touch with your source because it is your source's good feeling that is at the root of that.
Dum, dum, dum. Dun.
I've been studying with you for about 3.5 years, and a year and a half ago I sat before you and completely changed my life and turned my life around, and I can't thank you enough.
It is all about your asking and letting it in.
Right, right.
Yes.
I actually have two questions, and it's more just fine-tuning questions. One is actually about my cat. I have so much fun sort of breaking the rules, if you will. A year and a half ago, I told you, I don't know if you recall, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I only had 2 years to live, and I just refused all Western medicine and went into meditation and connecting with the inner being and healed myself in 8 months when all my doctors said that was impossible, and I kept going back for tests. No cancer to be found. They said it's not going to last. It's lasted. That was 6 years ago now, and so now that has become a lot of fun to me. Where I am now is I
You
have.
feel about you use some different words. You didn't so much heal yourself as you allowed the well-being that was natural anyway.
Yes,
You stopped doing what you were doing that was not letting you in.
yes, thank
Let's
you.
get it into very clear perspective.
Yes, thank you very much. I have a cat that is 27 years old now, I'm told.
If we had time, we would give you the visual image that popped up all around this room.
She doesn't look that bad, honestly. She looks good, actually. And now I find myself, what is the exact words? I hate to say fighting the consciousness of aging, but I can't find better words to describe what I'm doing. It's interesting because on one of the tapes years ago, a doctor sat before you and said, why can't we grow new limbs when one has been, amputated? You said yes. Can't we raise from the dead? You said yes. He said, why not? You said no one believes it. Well, I believe it. I believe my cat can go on. I believe I can go on. And I guess I'm asking for assistance.
Well, you can, as long as this time-space reality is stimulating you with enough new ideas that you continue to summon. And as long as you're in the place of allowing what you're summoning, you will remain physically focused as long as you're wanting. And you can remain in the condition that you choose to remain.
Right.
In other words, the answer to that, yes, all of that is possible.
Right.
And we would encourage you to stretch the limits of it if you are desiring.
Yes, I am. Very much so. Well, I practice. I was trained by the Essenes, and they were considered healers using the techniques of Jesus Christ, that teacher. And my question is sort of, in the healing work that I'm doing, I do believe that we're actually just kind of reflectors. We don't do any healing at all, honestly. We just, as you said, we focus on what their intention is and what their desire is. And sometimes through our focus, the healing is healed.
As a healer, what your greatest advantage to the one who is reaching for well-being is that as you focus upon the well-being that you know they choose, you influence them in some cases to being more in the receiving mode than they might be without.
Yes.
That is the total help of a healer. There is not anything more that is
Exactly.
required or possible from you.
Exactly. But I'm curious because since I do believe that a physical being can go well into their 100s, that they can regrow a limb if they're choosing, why, even though I believe that, it's not showing up in my physical experience.
Well, it may be that more of your physical experience is wanting to aggravate you into a stronger wanting.
Okay.
In other words, your wanting may not be as clear or as pointed as you think, or you may have
Big
more
spider.
resistance on the subject.
Daddy
It
long
would
legs.
surprise us if a little bit of
What should we do with it? Should we
It's
take
not
it
necessarily
outside?
part of your time-space
Dang it, I don't
reality
want to touch it.
and expect to be eternally in this body or even a long time in this
All right,
body.
we'll let it just go hide. Hurry up, spider.
We live in
Go
a
hide
world
under the
that is
dresser.
very age-conscious, and
Just
it's
stay
not
out of my
only that
vision.
the world is
Do your
age-conscious,
job.
is that it is almost demanding of you to act accordingly. And so when someone says to you, how old are you? Immediately they want to then begin to conjure all kinds of other things around you. The comedians are very adept at helping to paint images of all of that. And so many of you are influenced to that. And so it is the process of little by little releasing those images. If we were standing in your physical shoes and we were serious as you are about wanting to remain ageless in a body that is pleasing you and in a life experience that continues to please you, we would pick an age, any age that you've ever lived or that you might still be approaching. You get to choose the optimum age. And and we would fixate on it, and we would claim it for our own. And in the same way that you might have an outdated address on your driver's license, just accept that there is an incorrect birth date on your driver's license and don't let it be any big thing. Let age be a non-issue.
Well, I always tell people that. Oh, that my driver's license is wrong. I'm not that old.
Well, what we're getting at here is that while there is fun around it, we do not feel that any of you are really believing that you are ageless or timeless. And we are wanting you to know that you can be, because the source energy is responding to you. Your resiliency, everything about decline is about pinching off of energy. None of it is about moving through time. And the reason that it is so common that people tend to decline as they move through time is they pick up more things to worry about, more things to push against as they move through time. But it does not need to be that way.
Yes, I understand.
I am listening to Abraham,
My beliefs shifting in this way.
Buddha of Destiny. Namaste. Good morning, Cat and everyone. Good morning. How are you?
Actually, the cat had the idea first. You picked it up second.
It's because another spiritualist told me this cat is your greatest teacher. And for some reason that resonated, so it's.
But think about it. The cat is not worried about death, so it is able to live. The cat is not caring what anyone thinks, and so it is always in a place of pure positive energy. The cat is listening to its own counsel. Have you noticed how little it listens to you?
Yes. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on.
How are you,
for
Buddha?
example, we've talked a bit about the beasts, but the consciousness, meaning can a cat reincarnate?
Yogi
into a
says, "Good
human,
morning,
or
Buddha."
do they only stay in cat consciousness and continue to reincarnate as cats?
Well, here we really want to talk about this in a way that you will hear it easily, because there is a stream of energy. It sometimes gets a little uncomfortable, because what we're going to say next is going to make physical humans worry that they might not have some cat energy in them already. But the thing that we want you to realize is it is all consciousness. And this consciousness sometimes focuses in humans, sometimes focuses in
There we
cat,
go.
and all of it adds to the consciousness and the experience of the whole. And while it may surprise you, in other words, as you are in this physical body, you are a woman, you can be a mother, you can be a sister, you can be a lover, you can be a tennis champion, you can be an accountant, but you are rarely all of those things at the same time, where from your broader non-physical perspective, you are many things all at the same time.
Yes.
And so, yes, the consciousness that you know, here's an easier way to say it. Sometimes physical things will have an animal that is particularly dear to them. And when the animal makes its transition into non-physical, they will want that same sweet spirit to join them again. And we say it always can. And it's easier for you to anticipate it coming forth in the cat, which reminds you of the cat.
Buddha says, "Hope everyone is doing well." I am. I hope you are too.
But sometimes the reason that you have such an affinity to the animal to begin with is because some of the same energy that is you is within it. In other words, sometimes it is another aspect of you that is within that, just adding to the broadness of your experience. You hear us say, and it's easier for you to hear
Oh,
it, that
gosh.
you have soulmates among humans. But when we say you have soulmates among animals, it becomes a little worrisome to those of you who have been worried about that
Abraham
part of
has
you.
to say, "You can't get there from here."
Right.
It is consciousness that is expressing itself in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of perspectives, in order to give you all kinds of fun and bouncing off one
But
another.
this one woman was just talking about overcoming the illusion.
Being a beast is that
In spite of the belief of so many, her belief is enough to change this so-called reality, which is something we kind of spoke on, touched on the other day. I asked a question about. Really neat. But it's lovely to go back and listen to Abraham today. They just bring the message so clearly and in a way that's easy to understand.
And also another question that we sort of came close to, and perhaps I didn't hear the answer, but you had said on one tape about before we become physical, you said we're not particularly sitting on a cloud with our feet dangling going, ooh, Malibu, that's where I'm going to go next. You said it's more, of course, the loving law of attraction. Now, before I was physical, I was pure positive energy. And what I was born into wouldn't be what I would call the most positive parents, to put it gently. So I'm wondering, if I'm pure positive energy, how did law of attraction guide me into some pretty harsh negativity. Do you understand?
Because in the wisdom that you held prior to your emergence, you knew that that environment would produce this you.
All right, I got you. Yeah,
And this you was so worth it.
right. The other question I have is about my inner being. I'm having more and more and more and more fun communicating with the inner being, and I'm starting to get labels, which are fine with me. Humans have labels like clairaudient, where I can hear when someone sits before me.
Buddha of Destiny says, we'll be here in the background, still in bed.
It brings some great
Mad
joy.
respect. Thank you, God.
And I
Yogi
understand
got your
that there is
channel
this
on
dream, and yet
his
there is
page. I
also
was
a
looking
sort
and
of
said,
level
oh
of
yeah,
inner
Yogi.
personality. And
So went
I'm hearing it because it's so
and
specific,
amen, you
as
were
if
there.
someone's grandmother said, you know, I
Thank you,
always work with
Yogi.
yellow curtains,
Yogi's
invitation,
live stream
and
starts in just
when
a
I
few
find the
minutes. I
words
put up
tears
the
of
link.
joy, because I could communicate that
And Buddha
specifically
says, hope you have a
with that
wonderful, blessed day,
personality. But
Cat.
I
Thank you.
honestly, I'm
You
not sure
too.
what or where that personality
On
is. I
Yogi says,
understand the
thank you,
stream.
Buddha.
But
Love you,
remember what
my
we were
friend.
talking about earlier, about how you can activate a thought. So imagine when a person has been in a physical body, in a physical community, surrounded by
Oh, I
physical
need to add
friends
that
and
to my
family,
little
there's a huge
journal for
energy
today. The
vortex
fact that
surrounds them.
Abraham spoke on the same thing I've been
Focused from the non-physical
seeing,
perspective, still that thought form
experiencing.
still swirls around. So when you visit with someone who's aware of them, they are activating that thought form. And because you are tapped into the energy, now you are translating from both energy streams.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what it feels like. I understand. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. The other question now is, you have said it is very good also to look around you to find out where your vibration is from time to time and what's physically manifesting. And where my vibration, as far as creation, I seem to be missing the mark by like a half of an inch, meaning I was a few weeks ago. I was. in
Yogi
Hudson,
says, what do
Utah.
you
I
think
come
about
back in
living
the
A Course in
snow.
Miracles,
I come back
everyday
to this
life
time
as a
in
topic
town.
for Thursday, Cat? I
Actually,
think it's
before I was
wonderful.
in Medora, California. I live here in Burbank now, and I asked you specifically on a
I think it's
Tuesday.
good.
I spoke with Abraham, you guys, and said, "How about some snow here?" A week later, exactly a week later, the jet stream changed. That was not forecasted, and the pole was pulling Arctic air down, and it snowed. But it didn't snow where I live now. It snowed in my hometown. I missed it by that much. I asked for, I was very specific about a car, a new car that I wanted. I went to the dealership. I was doing all of the, procedures. I came out of the store that day. A woman almost hit me with the exact car. And so we had a lovely chat. She bought the car an hour ago, and we had a lovely chat. And then I drove home, and that same, not the same car, but the exact model and color and everything was parked in my parking structure right next to me. I ran up to my neighbor, and my neighbor said, "Oh, those are friends are visiting from town. They're renting that car." Now, so it's so close. Do you see what I'm saying? And yet it's not fully in my experience.
Did you learn to ride the bicycle?
Marlon says, hey there, sexy McHottie.
And so just keep adjusting
Yogi
your
says, good morning,
vibration and
Marlon.
let manifestation show you where it is. And adjust your vibration and let manifestation show you where it is. But we think what's tripping you up is that you are hung up on manifestation. If you could be doing the virtual reality for the fun of the feeling that you're conjuring and let the manifestation be less of an issue. In other words, that's one of the reasons you hear us say, in fact, you repeated it to us even better than we say it, that it is a nice thing when you offer your vibration and you are aware that you are offering your vibration. But it is also a nice thing, in other words, that's what deliberate creation is, to focus deliberately. But it's also a nice thing to be aware after the fact that what you've created was in response to your vibration. And in either way, you can offer your vibration pre-manifestation, or you can adjust your vibration post-manifestation. And that's what we mean when we say you never get it done. You're always continually standing in a new place. And so in this case, you're saying, well, here I'm so close. And if the attitude is, I'm close and it feels good and I'm going to get closer and there is nothing that I cannot be or do or have, all things are unfolding to me, I know I will never get it done, bring it on, this is great fun, then it just keeps unfolding in a very comfortable way. If your attitude is, where is it? I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm close. I missed it just this far. Now you're checking out the manifestation is holding you back. So just look for please you everywhere you look, whether it's in your past, whether it's in your conjured future, or whether it's in the reality that you are living.
Driving with Spice says, hello, hello.
You that the
Good
OGs
morning.
have said things that give a person to say over and over and over again on the tape so that they can, is the only thing I should do just see the image, or is there something I should say?
Well, it doesn't matter. Words add power to everything that you think, just as action adds power to everything that you speak. So thoughts are very powerful, and when you are speaking your thoughts, they are even more focused, and when you are acting around your thoughts, they are even more focused.
Yogi says, I'll have to admit, I like hearing Cat McHattie a bit more.
If we were looking for the ideal situation,
Driving with Spice says, good morning. And Yogi says, no offense to Marlon, of course. Driving with Spice says, where's your dog's face? I can't see it. He's headless. He's very camera shy, to the extreme. All right, it's 5 o'clock. Driving with Spice. Thanks for coming by. But we are going to Yogi's. I've posted a link. I pinned a link. And we are going now. I thank everybody for hanging out. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Not just you, but most of you will have a moment of insecurity, and you will speak it to someone,